Welcome, everybody, into Stick Drift, episode 12. How you feeling, Randy?
I'm alive.
Hell yeah, that's probably as good as we can get, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some news to talk about. We're gonna jump into a couple of the news stories that we have that we wanted to talk about. Namely GTA 6. We're recording this on June 24th at 10 p.m. EST, so 2 hours for me before they go live. I believe the pre-orders go live midnight your local time. So we got 2 hours from me until then. We're talking about Steam Machine prices, and Randy just finished Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. So we're going to have a full-on discussion about those games, everything that we want to talk about, and what we want to hope for in Revelations, what we can see. We and Randy have already definitely discussed some things about Remake and Rebirth, and I think we
We are on
both
literally
ended up
opposite
liking
ends
them.
of the spectrum. Yeah.
Yes.
Overall, liked them, but are on like very opposite ends of the spectrum regarding
And,
them.
and we'll get into that. So as we go through it, as always, comment what you think about these games. Comment what you think about GTA 6 pricing, Steam Machine pricing, a lot of money. It sucks. And let us know what you think about Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth and what you want to hear from Revelations. Randy, kick us away. What do you think of the GTA 6 pre-order pricing?
Okay. So I kind of want to start this by saying, like, for anybody who hasn't heard, it's $80 for the base game, $100 for the Ultimate Edition. Now, I know Nintendo has, I believe, two games priced at $80 now?
Yes, I believe it's Mario Kart World, and it got confirmed that Fortune's Weave is.
Yes.
Right?
Okay, so maybe three now. Because I think there was another one as well that they were talking about. I'm not sure. I could be mixing that up. Regardless, my thing with pricing games at $70, $80 is I understand how, first of all, back in like the NES, SNES era, $80 to $90 wasn't really out of the norm. And $60 became the standard and was for a long time. A lot of people bring up the whole like inflation thing, like game prices haven't really changed when everything else has. And I agree with that to an extent. My thing is when you offer microtransactions and like cut content and sell it as DLC, you're not really paying $60, $70, $80 for the same thing. You're now having to spend a lot more, and a lot of these companies are making more than they ever have, even with inflation, just based off of microtransactions. So when a company like Nintendo sells a game that doesn't really have paid DLC, they sell a complete game. You might not like it, you might like it, but they sell a complete package that isn't going to be getting a bunch of microtransactions and things thrown into it that you have to buy. I don't hate a $70 to $80 price tag. I can stomach that more. When something like GTA, which has an insane budget, I think it was currently estimated to be between $1 and $2 billion for the budget of this game.
I've seen $2 billion.
Yeah. So it's obviously this was going to be an expensive game, but also you saw how much GTA 5 made in its lifespan from microtransactions. They made their money back. I didn't pull this one up. I pulled up a couple articles. How much did GTA 5 make?
So the last time I saw it, again, and this was a while ago that I saw, like maybe a year and a half ago. I'm pretty sure it made like over $8 billion.
8 billion. I see something from 2 months ago saying they make 4.4 million a week on PS5.
Yes,
which is
okay, yeah. I was gonna say it's not a whole budget thing,
but that's a week on one system.
Yeah,
they're making their money back. You don't need to be charging $80 for this game. You'll make it back. And what kind of also like bothered me about it is actually one thing. I just want to say it now. It isn't really something that bothered me. Mm-hmm. I think $80 price tag. Part of the reason for it might be GTA Online's not coming until 2027, probably January, but maybe later.
Okay.
I'm thinking that because with the investment that they got, investors want to see return on that investment. So if they don't have something coming out by the end of the quarter, Rockstar is going to look terrible if they don't make a certain amount of that back. So they might have priced it higher because the GTA Online won't be coming out in time for the end of the quarter.
Okay.
So I could see that being part of the thing. But maybe not. Maybe they just want the money because people are going to double dip when it comes out on PC anyway. And a next-gen console, same thing that happened with GTA 5. They released at the end of a console's lifespan and then make another version that people buy again.
Yeah.
But the big thing that bothered me about this was the Ultimate Edition.
So before we get into that, I want to talk about my take on the $80. Because I completely understand everything you're saying, 100%. It is the argument where like part of me is looking at other games that have come out for 80. Which, let me tell you something. Mario Kart World is the other $80 game that we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Randy, I don't even think this should have been $70. $60 for Mario Kart World.
Yeah.
That would have been a price that I would look at and be like, okay, I'm a little harsh on Nintendo. We know that. But, like, this was the game. This is really the game that we're going to set the tone for $80.
That's fair. Did they drop the digital price to 70 for that?
I don't know. Maybe they did, but maybe they did retroactively because I don't think it was at the time. But I could also be totally.
I don't think they were even like doing that thing at the time, so I don't know if they did retroactively or not. But yeah, I agree with that.
Ridiculous, and so I think.
But I will say, I think it depends a little on how much free updates it gets. Because if they support that game and add a bunch of stuff to it, it might not be like I don't love Mario Kart. Yeah, I have fun with it from time to time, which makes it not worth $80 to me. But for somebody who's like loves Mario Kart, and if they get a bunch of free updates, then I could see that being worth it in the long run.
It's like when you look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I don't think any of those updates were free. I think they had to pay for all the other courses.
Really?
It was all like DLC packs. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't keep up to date on Mario Kart, so I just thought they were getting it for free, like how Monster Hunter does it.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. So okay. I know we don't have a lot to compare it to, and I know it's like one conversation to compare it to something. But when we talk about what GTA is and what GTA does, and I know this is where it kind of sucks, but part of where my brain goes is I look at GTA 5, and yeah, I did pay for the 360 version. I bought it for the one, got the upgrade on the Series X. Like, I was someone who did buy it multiple times throughout the console.
Yeah, everybody does.
Throughout different consoles. But when you look at it, let's just say I spent $200 altogether on this game. The amount of free content that I got in GTA Online far exceeds a $200 price tag. The fact that I got that much is one of those things. So
that's fair.
So I look at it, and again, this is all obviously it could be changed in hindsight because we don't. Even with the pre-orders going up, we still have not seen gameplay of this game.
That's part of something I was going to get into.
Okay, so I'll get it on an entry level thing here. Like, we still don't know what this game looks like. We really don't know what it's going to play like. We don't know what it's going to be or involve and stuff like that. But the only other video game that's out right now that I can compare this $80 price tag to is Mario Kart World. Yeah, I think it's probably more worth it than Mario Kart World.
When you put it like that, yeah. I was comparing more to like $70 games because that was a very recent thing still where they started going up to 70 and people were having the same conversation.
When did they change it to 70? Because it was within the last 10 years, I think, that it became a regular thing. It may have even been more recent. Randy's going to look at that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking that up.
Yeah. But you're right. It was very recent that they changed it to 70. So to already make the jump to 80 is kind of rough. But so I'll pose this question. GTA 6, do you think they're setting...
$70 games became the standard around the fall of 2022. So not even 4 years ago.
Oh my God, it was that recent?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so let me ask you this then. Before we jump into the Ultimate Edition and the other pricing and stuff. Do you think GTA 6 getting sent out for $80, do you think that's going to set a precedent? Or do you think other companies are going to be like, yeah, no, we still should do this? What do you think we're going to see?
That's hard to say, I think, because
this game is going to sell
Nintendo already kind of does. Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be hard because companies are going to look at GTA and they know it's GTA.
Right.
I mean, look at the release schedule. They're not releasing around it because they expect everybody to buy that. So I don't know if other companies, it might, for some, they might get ballsy and be like, oh, they did it, we can too. And I think a lot of companies will still be like, we're not GTA. We're not releasing something with a $1 to $2 billion budget. That's. But yeah, they're gonna make that back anyway with microtransactions, and so I was just kind of like, you don't have to charge this.
Yeah,
you'll be fine. But I don't know. I think so. Going off of that, like what you said, we haven't seen gameplay yet, and that kind of bugs me about the Ultimate Edition stuff more than the Ultimate Edition stuff already does bug me.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
No, okay. I have not seen what's in the Ultimate Edition. So what does it include?
So it includes a couple of things that just seem very standard, like a couple of vehicles and a couple of guns and stuff, which feels a little weird because it's like, I don't know if you'll be able to get them in the game. And I'm more okay with cosmetics, but that's kind of standard. Yeah. The part that really bugs me is there was 5 or 6 shops that are on the map that you can't access if you don't have the Ultimate Edition.
Mm,
Stuff like vehicle mod shops, like there was one for muscle cars, one for off-road vehicles, one for street racing cars. There was a clothing
okay.
shop, a tattoo shop. You can't, I don't know if you won't even be able to walk into them or not,
Right.
but you won't be able to use those shops
Uh, that
if you don't
sucks.
spend $20 more and get the Ultimate Edition.
And
And they're,
exactly like what you were saying, it feels less like you're getting extra and more like you're not selling me the game.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
And yeah, I don't like that at all. And like I know some people were comparing it to Red Dead 2 because they did something kind of similar where they added there was like a heist, like a bank heist kind of thing that was as part of the Ultimate Edition that it was a mission you couldn't play if you didn't have that. Which on one hand, yeah, I agree. It's some extra content. It does kind of feel like you cut that out for specifically people who spent that. On the other hand, it's not something you get reminded of. The game, you're not driving past or going on a horseback past this mission like you are with shops and just being reminded I can't go in there, right? Maybe not go in there, but I can't use that because I
Yeah,
didn't
that
spend
does.
$20 more.
Yeah, that does feel weird.
Yeah.
Huh. It's like you said it was like it was closed shop. It was like a tattoo shop, like that, like a mod shop. You said.
Yeah, so there was like three
Okay.
different mod shops for different types of vehicles. There was I think I
Now
have it
these
pulled
mod
up
shops
already.
again. Like I didn't see any articles, so I
I
don't know
can.
if
Oh,
you have the
I have it
details.
pulled. Yeah, I have it pulled up right now. I can read the descriptions for them.
Go for it. Yeah.
Uh, vehicle mod shops, two preeminent vehicle customization destinations are exclusively open for business with the Ultimate Edition and feature a wide selection of artistic and performance-based mods. At Rideout Customs in Vice City, transform vanilla vehicles into magnificent works of art with detailed interiors, exquisite rims, and donk stylings. Meanwhile, at One-Eyed Willie's in Lake Leonida,
I'm
transform
having a
off-road
stroke
vehicles.
listening to this.
I know. Transform off-road vehicles with exclusive mods and even attain custom hand-painted masterpieces. And there's other ones as well that were part of that. But yeah, so it seems like
So
like performance, like driving stuff too.
yeah, I was gonna say like it. I was gonna say it would feel shitty still, but it would make me feel a little better if it was all customization stuff, like if it was cosmetics. But when you add in the performance boost stuff, it does kind of feel
Now, here's one thing that
rougher to me.
here's one part about that I am a little iffy on still because we obviously can't see what's available in these shops. So how much of what's available in these shops will be available in other shops? Is it like if you're doing performance based stuff, can I get all that stuff? And the other thing, is it just a couple of the paint jobs I can only get at this one shop?
That
Because
is
it
true.
wouldn't feel as bad then, but I would still think it's kind of shitty that I'm driving past this and being like, can't use that. Got to go to a different one because I'm
Yeah,
poor, I guess. Like
but then
I only
also,
spent $80 on your game.
right, but then also, wouldn't it feel weirder that for the people that did spend the 20, being like, I paid 20 to get stuff here
Yeah,
when I could just
yeah.
get it over here? So it works both ways, where you're like, all right,
Yeah, at that point. So
huh,
it depends on how much exclusive stuff is in these shops. I do think
yeah,
it's a little weird with some guns and other things. Like
hmm,
personalized weapon variants. It says personalized sidearms with detailed engravings for both Jason's. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that. Something E30 E7 pistol and Lucia's
sure.
Close K17 pistol. Uh, yeah, sure. What is this one? PT Youngins Compound and Scores, one of Leonida's loudest and most socially active gangs. The PTT Youngins grow premium hydroponics in places you'd least expect.
I'll be real
Find a
with
way.
you. If I didn't know the context of what this was, you could have also been reading me like a Borderlands description.
Yeah,
Like
this
so
sounds like
easy.
another mission. Find a way to raid the illegal goods store and so, yeah, that's another
Okay.
mission.
Hmm.
Um, clothing store, unisex salon, electric fang tattoo, and then there's some vehicles. There's a sports car. There's a vehicles and vapid ganado retro build, which is a
Sure.
motorcycle and a kayak.
Sure.
Yeah, there's just like some mods, guns, cars, shops, all that stuff.
Jeez. Okay.
In short,
Yeah. So it feels weird.
yeah,
That's for the 20. So, okay, I was going to ask this question then because, like, obviously GTA isn't very known for doing DLC. They do a lot of the online updates. There's no season pass or anything in this. Like,
I
it
don't.
doesn't.
Yeah, I doubt
So,
that the single player because GTA 5 didn't get it.
right.
Red Dead didn't get it. GTA
Yeah.
4 was the last one to get single player updates.
Yeah. And I think one of the heists actually in GTA 5 was supposed to be single player DLC originally, and then they pivoted because they were making more money with online than they would making the single player DLC.
Yeah,
So,
it's probably why they stopped making just content for Red Dead Online because GTA was
yeah,
making more.
that's also true. Okay. Yeah. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, to like kind of wrap it up a little bit, personally, I'm not I'm not mad at the $80 price tag. This is
Yeah.
what I expected. Which,
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, this is one of those things where, like, damn, Rockstar didn't need to lift a fucking finger, man. Because GTA 6 was one of those things, the atmosphere, that everyone and their mother, whether you knew video games or not, they were like, oh, GTA 6, it's going to cost $100. It's going to cost $120. People would pay $150 for this. So, like, to people like us who know the space, we're looking at 80 and we're like, oh, damn, that does suck. But, like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else in the universe is like, only 80? That's awesome. Rockstar didn't need to lift a fucking finger for most of the conversation to be, damn, only 80's pretty good. Genius marketing.
Yep.
I guess.
Like I'm like, my thing is mostly the Ultimate Edition stuff that kind of bothers me. The 80, like I
Yes.
said, if you're in other games, if you're not selling microtransactions, you sell a complete thing, and it's a big game, I can understand. But GTA is GTA. The price
Mhm.
to make the game was insane. So I'm
Yeah.
a little like, you didn't have to, but I
Mhm.
also get you're getting that value. So it's
And so I want to ask two other quick things then regarding this. We don't need to, because we still don't know
Yeah.
anything, so it's not going to be too big a conversation. So you're thinking that GTA Online might not be launching until 2027 now.
I could see January because they typically did like with GTA 5 and Red Dead, it was about a
Couple
month, right?
weeks. I thought it was 2 weeks, but I think we looked it up eventually, and I think it was longer than I thought.
Yeah,
So
I think it
if
was a
it's
month. Maybe it was a little shorter than that, but like if it's coming out, let's say a lot of people seem to think November 19th.
Mhm.
So if you do a month
Yes.
after that, you're doing basically Christmas, and at that point, just wait until
Push it,
yeah, because because if things are broken, which notoriously
They will
GTA
be.
5 on launch, the online was busted, and then you
Yeah.
can't have people like not like missing Christmas, something like that.
Right, yeah.
So I'm thinking
rough.
January.
That's a safe bet then. Yeah. My other question. This will be much simpler. End of 2026.
Yeah.
How many copies get sold by the end of the
Oh,
year? How, like, I want. What do you think is a reason? Like, you can give me a range. You can give me a number. Like,
it's hard because I don't really like
Do you-
look into sales in other games, so I don't know what to compare it to, like other highest.
give me
Give
two.
me what Call of Duty sold last year, because I know Black Ops 7 was a down year for him.
Okay, hold on. Let me find that out then, because I was gonna give you. Well, okay. Black Ops 7 may also be rough to like look at sales numbers for, because we also had Game Pass for that one.
Or yeah, sorry, I meant 2 years ago, but yeah, we did have Game Pass numbers.
Do you want Black Ops 7 still?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Can I find a good number? I'm just seeing that it was one of the worst selling Call of Duties of all time.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want that one too.
You know what? How about I give you this? Because I think I can find this number better. I don't know if this will help, but hold on.
Okay, so preliminary, it's hard to say because I know one of my coworkers, for example, he doesn't really play video games. He's not like really into he's at least not like us.
Can you bring your mic a little closer?
One of my coworkers, he doesn't really play video games, at least not to like a hardcore like level like a lot of people like us in the space do. So he just like 2K, Call of Duty, that kind of thing, he might jump in.
Yeah.
And he said that he was taking a week off for GTA 6's launch.
Yeah.
So if people are like that into it who aren't normally into like every video game or anything, it's got to be an insane number.
So this is the number that I was looking at to give you, because I think this is one of the highest selling games this year so far. But now that I see it, I think there's others that are higher. Crimson Desert sold 6 million.
Okay.
Let me see. This was the other game that I wanted to look up. Because Resident Evil Requiem
but even
has sold
those games,
over 7.
And even those games are like, they're
Still
bigger,
more
but
niche.
More niche than like a Call of Duty or something like that.
Do you want me to give a number first?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're gonna not timestamp this, but I'm gonna make a note, and I want to see who's closer. Do we want to do Prices Right rules? Closest without going over? Or just closest?
Nah, just closest.
Okay. I'm gonna guess 20 million sold by the end of 2026.
I was actually going to go around there too, so this is hard.
That's funny.
Now I want to change. I did look up GTA 5 sales. Lifetime sales was around 230 million units.
Yep. That's funny. On stream, we were just looking at that.
Yeah, so you have to, with that, think that a lot of that is double dipping.
It's on PC now.
It's on PC now too.
360, PS3, Xbox One, PS4.
I'm going to go... With the $80 price tag, you might be pricing some people out too.
Totally, yeah. And
I'm gonna
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna go.
help you out here really quick before you give that. I'm gonna help you
Yeah,
out too. Keep in mind that between total sales of PS5 and Series X and Series S consoles estimate to be about 115 million. As of right now, if you take all
but the thing is,
PS5s,
if you own one of those and you're gonna buy a game, it's gonna be GTA 6. So it's like
it doesn't help too
I'm
much.
gonna go with 17 million.
Okay, 20 million and 17 million. Everyone, if you
You know
have
what? No,
guesses,
16 million. I'll give you some more breathing room.
okay. So Randy thinks 16 million. I think 20 million by the end of the year. We'll see who's closer. Anyone else who wants to play along, get those guesses in the comment section. I'm very curious.
I'm still thinking about it now too, because it's like it's only a month and a half.
It is. How many people are pre-ordering though?
Not me. The physical edition doesn't even have a disc.
It's true.
They said it's a code in a box. Why pre-order a digital game? They're not going to run out.
That's a good point. Good point. You know what? You know what hasn't been.
You know what? I'm going to lower my guess. I'm going to 10 million.
10 million. Okay.
Yeah.
You think it's only going to sell 3 million more than Resident Evil Requiem has?
Resident Evil Requiem came out 4 months ago.
Yeah.
We're only giving GTA a month and a half.
GTA is a hell of a lot bigger than Resident Evil.
It is, but I'm still guessing 3 million
tough.
more in
a
third of the time.
I'm so curious, dude. Like you said, $80 price tag could do a lot too. Yep. So like I said, guys, get in the comments. Let us know. One other thing that we haven't even talked about. Do you think there's a collector's edition that gets announced later? I don't know if GTA 5
I can't imagine. I don't know if it did, but I can't imagine they wouldn't announce it during the same thing as the
other so it's weird, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we only have the standard and the deluxe. So I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I guess maybe based on pre-orders, they're like, oh shit, let's do a collector's edition. But
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So let's segue into the next thing that we're going to talk about price-wise too, because if you think $80 is too much for GTA 6,
yeah.
How about that Steam machine, Randy? How about that Steam machine? You tell me, brother.
That thing is overpriced.
Okay.
Did you saw the pricing for it?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, $1,049 for the base one, which is only 512 gigs of storage and doesn't come with a controller.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's
especially for the specs, because I was looking at a couple of videos online, and there are some games the base PS5 runs better.
Yes.
So and I understand a couple of things about it. One, the market has changed. The RAM and SSDs, their prices are through the roof. I looked up. I have an what was that?
You go. You go ahead. And
I have an unopened 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM that I had gotten when I was like building this computer, and as it turns out, like I ended up not needing it because I ended up getting like a good deal on like 64 gigs, but it was different transfer speeds. So whatever, I just have this. It was like $80 when I got it. It's like 300 something now for the same exact thing, and it was 2 or 3 years ago I got this.
Insane, up 4 times.
Yeah, almost 5. It's nuts. It's crazy. And so I get that. That's going to impact these prices. As we saw, PS5 and Xbox Series X, their prices have gone up too.
I think it's the only console generation that has gone up.
Yeah. And the PS5 Pro costs $900. The thing is, the Steam. I'm going to give them some leeway first before I talk about the price, because the Steam machine can also, I think, be used as a normal computer. If you wanted to use that as a computer, you can. Which is part of the reason why they're charging $1,049 for it, because a lot of times what PlayStation and Xbox do is they subsidize the consoles so that games make up the difference for them. They get people in the door, they buy a lot of games. The Steam machine, they can't guarantee that you'll be buying games, and if you are, with how many indie games that aren't available on consoles that you can get hundreds of hours in for $5, they can't be sure they're going to make the money back from that to do that. So they can't really subsidize it. They don't even know what the market looks like for this. Right. So it's like, I think Valve themselves were disappointed they had to charge that much, but they're like, we can't justify making this any other way.
The bit that I was going to jump in with was like, I'm honestly shocked they gave a price. I thought they were just going to take a little bit of a loss and just hang on to these for a while. I'm shocked that they came out and even did this.
Yeah, I am too. But like, my thing is they made it really small so that it could fit, and it's a nice midway point for a PC. Somebody doesn't want somebody wants a little more than a console. Maybe they already have, like me, I have a pretty big Steam library. I'd love to be able to play those on my TV. If the Steam machine was a better price, I might get one. But
Mhm.
I'm not paying that, especially when you're like weaker than like the current generation. Not by much, but like a little bit. You're weaker than the
Mhm.
current generation of consoles. I can't justify that.
No.
In no world can I justify that. That doesn't make any sense. Especially when you just get a normal console then. Like you
Yeah.
would have to buy the games again, but like still, I do appreciate some things about the Steam machine too. The ability to upgrade the RAM and the storage in it. You can change that out. That's cool. The base console is too weak. I like what they're going for, and I think Linus Tech Tips put it perfectly with the price isn't it is overpriced but not unreasonable. Like
That's
I
a good way
get
to
how
put
you
it.
got there, but it's not worth that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, the specs look at so. Here, let me go. Let me go here. I guess. What What do you think they were trying to charge for this?
I think they said 700.
I was going to say seven. Seven would have
Yeah.
been reasonable because then you look at that and you're like, all right, like even without the price hike of the other consoles, right? You look at the base price launch, 500 for the Series X, 500 for the PS5. You look at a thing for 700 that's supposed to be this a PC hybrid kind of thing, and you're looking at that, you're like, all right, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would have been good. I can't believe that they did this. You know, like I've seen other people talk about it. They're like, man, like what if they just what if they just took the Steam machines? What if they stripped it of the RAM and just resold the RAM at you know, and just like said, all right, fuck this, we'll do it later when it's more worth it. But
I did see that, but I feel like if you're trying to get console people who just want a plug and play thing that they could throw in on their TV, they
Yeah.
don't want the RAM to deal with. They don't want to deal with that. That's the whole reason they're not getting a PC. They want something they
well,
put in
right,
the
right, it
TV.
would be for a different market. You wouldn't be selling it to
Yeah.
the same people who'd be looking for the Steam machine. But like,
But
yeah,
would people
it's
know?
right. No.
Yeah.
So
People wouldn't notice. So
I just don't like why make this decision. It's funny too because I was literally talking to a friend of mine who plays video games but isn't in the same space like we are. Like he's not looking at this news, he's not hearing this news and everything. We were literally talking. It was the night before the Steam machine prices got revealed, and he was talking. He's like I can't even imagine. He's like it's 2026. Like are we looking at PS6 soon? He was like, what is that going to be like $700? And I was like, oh buddy, let me break it to you, pal.
yeah, if this AI bubble doesn't pop, it's
My
probably
God.
going to be higher.
Do you think so? I mean, just for the fun of the conversation or the horrible nature of it, what do you think a PS6 would cost if Sony came out tomorrow and said, "Here's the PS6"? What do you think we see? Obviously, we don't know
So
specs,
the
so it's obviously
Pro
hard.
is yeah. Hold on,
The
let me look
Pro
up
is
some of
950.
the Pro is
I think.
900 or 9. Yeah, one of those two.
You know what? Yeah, check that because I might actually be confusing it because I know the Steam Deck with the bigger storage is 950. I might be confusing with that, but I think it's 9 at least. Because I know it was just barely scratching that $1,000 mark.
Yeah, it's 900.
Like, oh, 900, Jesus Christ.
And it doesn't come with a disk drive or a vertical stand. So
that's the real kick in the dick.
The disk drive
the vertical stand sold separately. Come on.
Yeah. So the PS5. I also noticed that the PS5 Pro has 16 gigs of DDR6 memory. And an additional 2 gigs of slower DDR5. So we're going with 18 gigs. That's not a lot. So they'll have to they might stick with 16 gigs for next generation. They'll probably, I would say you have to do 32 for a generation that you want to last a couple of years. At this point, 32 is kind of becoming the standard.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do you think DDR6 it'll be better, but
do you think they would get this out for under 12? Realistically,
I think they could.
Okay,
but if they are not
hard,
much,
right?
yeah, and it also depends. That's considering that the market conditions don't change in that time frame,
right? Yes, of course.
Yeah,
like I was saying, like if they were to come out tomorrow and be like PS6, here you go, and it's like, why are you doing this? But we've heard a lot of rumors that Sony is pushing it off till at least 2028, possibly even 2029. Which I really hope is the case, because give it time. Just let it either get worse where we know where it's not going to get better for a long time, or give it the time to pop and fall back to normal to some degree. You know?
Yeah, like I'm looking. The issue right now is I'm looking at RAM on Amazon, and I'm seeing top one that shows up is 32 gigs of DDR5 at $414.
Jesus.
That's
Jesus.
Not even considering a graphics card, which is typically like the graphics card in my computer, at least a year ago, was $2,000. I know that that's not what's going to be in the next
Being the
thing, and
right,
they'll have some deals or whatever. But like,
right,
just the
but still,
RAM for
just the RAM for
400.
400.
Yeah,
You're looking at that. People were upset that the Switch 2 came out at 450 alone. You're looking at now just the RAM being 400. That's
yeah,
it ain't looking good, folks. But
and that's why I play. And I actually will give Nintendo a lot of props for this. They had to increase their price because of the market conditions changing as well. They're only doing it by like $50,
50, yeah, it's going up to
they
5.
gave everybody a 3 months notice too. So if you want to buy one, you could do it before the price goes up. I will give them a
Huge.
lot of props for that. They did not have to do that.
It's like it sucks because like it's all like price jumps and price hikes suck every time. It doesn't matter. But
Yeah,
the people that are the people that got so upset with Nintendo for doing it, it is ridiculous. Like it's the people that just don't know the industry, the people that don't know what's going
yeah.
on, and you don't blame them. I don't blame them for it, but I hope
And
at
people
some
still
point
talk
they
shit
look at
about like the Switch 2, like its performance and stuff. And it's like you're comparing it to like the other handhelds that can do things better, which first of all, the Steam Deck can't do games. Some games the Switch 2 performs better, some games the Steam Deck does. Steam Decks in general performs a little better than the Switch 2 normally does, and obviously has more games on it. But
Mhm.
the price of the Steam Deck is
It's almost twice.
$789.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
like I said, if you're going for the bigger storage, that's 950.
yeah. So
So
like
it's like
it's
it's not really It's not really
it's not really
comparable when you're
comparable.
looking
Yeah,
at it.
no, like
Yeah,
I just think this Switch 2 is a good value for what it is.
and again, as much
Even
as I
at the
rip into
even at the 500, it's still
yeah, and
comparatively that's a good way to game. Like
as much as I rip into Nintendo for this kind of stuff, like for performance issues and all this stuff, like the Switch 2 can run things that I wouldn't have thought. So the games that it's not running, I look at and say, well, I don't think that's on Nintendo. The fact that we can't the fact that we can have Cyberpunk 2077 running on a Switch 2 well,
decently.
and they had to take an extra year to do Elden Ring, you kind of look
Yeah.
at that and be like, all right, that's not on Nintendo's fault. That's from Soft working with the hardware trying to get it to work there. They're the ones that are probably having the problem getting it.
Yeah, but also you don't know how much longer CD Projekt Red had to work on that before. Yeah, so it could have been.
You're right.
Yeah.
We do know that dev kits did not go out for a while.
I think CD Projekt Red had to have had one because
they must have, because that
was a launch title, wasn't it?
So, oh yeah, that is true. So
yeah,
I guess
they
were
got
one
the
of the
whole
few
thing
that
on a
got
physical.
it.
They got the whole thing on a physical cartridge too. I
Yeah,
think they made
you're totally
specific
right.
DLSS settings for Nintendo Switch as well. So like that probably had to take them a bit of
A
time.
good amount of time. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah,
they put in more than most companies will. But like I know Remake runs. It is 30. Final Fantasy VII Remake is 30 FPS on Switch 2, but it's a solid 30 to the point where it wasn't really bothering me. And I normally am very sensitive to like FPS stuff. Granted, I was playing in handheld, so it's harder to see on a smaller screen anyway. But like, it was running what I would consider perfectly more than acceptable for a handheld experience. So yeah, like that's it. Yeah, I was talking about somebody about this the other day, and it was like, yeah, you are getting a downgraded version, a lesser experience, but for the price tag of the console, the fact that you can play it at home or bring it somewhere with you, it is bigger, so it's not that portable, but it is portable. And as like maybe just like an entry level like console or something like that, you just game like some light gaming and stuff. Switch 2 is fucking perfect. It's a lot of times you're not going to notice that you're getting a downgraded version unless you have them side by side. Sometimes companies fuck up and you get horrible ports, but yeah.
No, 100%. Now, here's one last question that I want to ask before we jump into. It would be a good segue, so don't forget about that.
That's kind of why I did it there, but yeah.
I do want to bring one more thing because I meant to mention it with the GTA 6 stuff. So, what's the Series S price right now?
I don't know.
400, I think. Okay, I'm looking it up. I think it's 400. So that is the cheapest way to play GTA 6. That is going to be the cheapest option to buy in for it. Do you think that we see any kind of influx in Series S sales? Do you think we see, because like, okay, yeah. And do you think we see mostly Series S sales being the cheapest option? Do you think we still see? You think okay?
I still think. Well, wait, you mean compared to Series X?
Compared to Series X and compared to PS5?
Oh, yeah. Oh no, PS5 is still taking it.
You think that like of the three console options, the most that we see the install base for GTA 6 sales are going to be for the PS5?
Yeah, because you have to look at it with people are going to buy this game a lot of times with multiplayer in mind and where their friends are, and most people own a PlayStation.
That is true.
So it wouldn't, yeah.
Yeah,
Unless there's crossplay, then it might impact it, but I still think people are going to want to get what their friends get. So
ooh, we don't have crossplay confirmed.
We don't even have gameplay for this thing yet. They've already shown the Ultimate Edition DLC. We don't even have gameplay. So
all right, yeah, we're far from crossplay. Yeah, that's true because GTA 5 as of right now does not have crossplay.
Yeah,
so that's a fair point. All right.
Yeah, the big thing. I actually wanted to mention this earlier too. So getting farther away from that segue. That kind of pissed me off too, that you're showing this like exclusive content only for the Ultimate Edition. Pre-orders are going live. We haven't seen gameplay yet.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Is this thing gonna run?
It's GTA 6. That's the only comment people can make because we unfortunately have no other information to say anything else. That's all we can say. GTA 6.
We've gotten GTA 6 Ultimate Edition before GTA 6 gameplay.
You're so right. You're so right. We got Tupac and Yakuza before we got GTA 6.
Yep.
Gameplay.
All right.
But now we'll go back to the other. We'll talk about GTA 6 more when we actually get gameplay. We'll talk about what we see, what we want, and everything. We'll get more into the weeds of all the conversation topics in GTA 6 later. But for now, unfortunately, I ruined the segue. But we wanted to talk about these games because Randy just recently beat them. You've been going off on a fucking tear, dude. You've been playing game after game after game. We will have short form content up on TikTok relatively soon. I hope we're going to be starting to get that all settled in July. We'll talk about more of exactly what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be rolling it out. But just some fun stuff that you can listen to and see that's not an hour long, hour and a half long that we keep doing on a weekly basis. But one of those things that we want to shoot are just like fun little reviews and talks on games that we beat that aren't new. You know, like we're not top of the top. You know, I don't think there's a lot of people that are going to care about what we have to say about this brand new game that came out. And if we do, we're going to be talking about it here more than likely. So short form is a cool place that we can talk about the older games that we just beat that we're like, hey, if you're a fan of this game, might not have a lot of people talking about it right now. Tell us what you think. And Remake and Rebirth are definitely in conversation because of Revelations. So Randy, I'm going to let you start, but obviously start with Remake. Start on your thoughts here. I'll jump in and tell you like my thoughts on this game and as we go along, but take us away with it.
Okay, I feel like in Remake, I was in a constant flux between one part, I'm like enjoying the game, and then 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh God, why? I think, I don't even know really where to go. It was, I think described as like a good way to describe it was like a good but like flawed game. Because I that's genuinely what I thought about it. I liked it overall. I liked the story of it. Pacing was a little iffy.
That's crazy. I hate you already.
I do agree with something you're gonna say later. I think I do agree.
I'll jump in
the pacing
on
the pacing is not great in Remake. The pacing is technically worse in Rebirth, but it bothered me more in Remake, and I'm not 100% sure as to why that is the case. But,
you're not alone. I think you're wrong for it, but you're not alone. So I'm probably wrong, but
maybe. So it seems like there's a lot of discourse around these games. Some people love one, some people love the other, some people hate them both. So yeah.
I'll jump in and because I got some stuff to say about Remake as a whole. I'll let you jump in on stuff that I'm talking about then, if you're cool with that.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake was one of my first Final Fantasy games. I had only played 15 before I jumped into this. I think I played Remake before I played 10 actually. But so I fell in love with this game instantly. Like the combat was the combat at the time I played it was my favorite combat system I had ever experienced. Which is now second only to Rebirth's combat system. It just took what Remake did and just perfected it in my opinion. Which, quick sidebar, is why I'm super excited for Beast of Reincarnation because Beast of Reincarnation's combat system looks like what Rebirth is doing. So I'm here for it.
I've looked forward to that game. I'm very excited for it now.
Hell yeah. But Remake. Keep in mind that as we talk about this, and I can speak for Randy on this sense too, neither of us have played OG7, correct? Have you touched OG7?
Touched is a strong word. I think like when they put the mobile ports out and I downloaded 7 and like I never left the reactor. So it was like,
okay. Very bare bones kind of experience.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is coming from two people who know next to nothing about 7. Like nothing. I don't even know the story of Revelations now. The last story bit that I knew of OG7 happened in Rebirth. So this is completely new to me now.
Yeah,
Especially
we did have one thing spoiled for us, but I think
yeah.
both of us had that spoiled anyway. Like everybody
Yeah.
has seen that scene. I won't say it here on the off chance that
Right,
somebody's
then you
watching
don't.
who
Yeah, I'm gonna
hasn't.
keep.
Yeah,
Yeah, and keep in mind, like this conversation will be spoiler free. Like anything that we need
as
to get
much
into.
as we can. There is one thing I want
Yes,
to mention, but yeah,
and okay, and if we do, we'll mention that it is spoilers, and depending on how big and how long it goes, I can even put it on the screen. But
yeah,
for the most part, we'll try and keep it as spoiler friendly as possible. But let's be honest, if you're here because you want to talk about Revelation stuff, you've probably played these games, so you probably know about them.
yeah.
So from a standpoint of like that people found the pacing of Remake to be bad, I never found that to be the case. And purely from a standpoint of maybe I just didn't know what this game was supposed to be. Um but a lot of people I know that complained about the pacing felt like the parts where you're spending time with Jesse or that you're spending times with Biggs and Wedge that feel like they were longer, that felt longer in this game than they did in the original. Maybe you didn't like it as much. I don't know, man. Like, I think my argument for why I like those moments in Remake are the same reason why people make those arguments in Rebirth, but I feel like they're so much more egregious in Rebirth, but I think you'll make the exact opposite argument. So I think it's just a going around in circles kind of deal. Like,
Yeah.
it fleshes out some of these characters more, and I like that.
And that's kind of what I liked about the Rebirth stuff. And it's,
You're wrong.
I think I mentioned this, is for some of them, because some of them did bother me.
Okay.
But like the beach thing, I know everybody talks about, and I did hate part of that story thing with the. I'm not gonna say a spoiler, but like just that it's kind of important that you match outfits with somebody. That's stupid as shit. But like, yeah, like stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of, I think I mentioned this before to you, in One Piece when they have like the stuff in between major arcs when the cast is just like hanging out in the ship, goofing off, being friends, and you just get to see the characters be the characters. And I enjoyed that in parts. There were some parts in Rebirth when it got too far, and I think something that helped it was the bigger cast in Rebirth than in Remake. It just made me enjoy it that more.
The thing that also about, I don't think I mentioned this in our talks for Rebirth, and this is a big point that I want to make, which is what bothered me about it so much. Remake, I felt like the stakes weren't that high until the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, in Rebirth, the stakes are unbelievably high. Don't give me a goddamn beach episode when, like, you quite literally in the middle of the beach episode be like, hey, don't forget, the world is ending in 3 days. And it's like, why am I playing volleyball? Why am I playing soccer with Red 13?
Yeah.
The world is ending. I'm supposed to have this very overwhelming sense of impending doom. And Rebirth at every moment of gameplay reminds me that it's not important. Yeah, like it takes all high stakes that the end of Remake set up and just throws it the fuck away. I hate it.
Yeah,
I hated it. But yes, I totally agree with that.
Maybe it was just my expectations going in, then knowing that Rebirth was a longer game. That when they're trying to say that, oh yeah, the stakes this high, I'm like, well, I know I'm not that far in, so I know it's not ending soon now. So who cares? You know, like we'll stop
totally
it.
Fair. Totally fair. Yeah, and I definitely complained a lot to Randy before you jumped into the game. So yeah. I hope that
might have been part of it too. Honestly,
yeah, like setting the expectations super low that you're like, oh, this wasn't as bad as you said. It is as bad as I said. I promise I'm right. But no, it's also important to say that my experience with Rebirth was that of the Platinum, which definitely put me over on some sections, but I do think the pacing was abysmal in Rebirth. But to bring it back to Remake and the conversation with all the characters and everything, yes. and did you want to say something?
I did. Yeah, I want to talk about Remake's combat a bit compared to Rebirth.
Okay, yeah, let's jump into
that
combat.
That was kind of something that I was having a bit of an issue with Remake that Rebirth completely solved for me.
Go for it, yeah.
Which was the elemental abilities in Rebirth, because part of the problem that I was having, and I messaged about, part of that was my fault. Turns out, okay, so let me set the scene real quick.
I was fighting certain enemies. This is what you were explaining.
Yeah,
then I think it was on you totally, but
half on me.
Yeah, we'll see.
I will say, because once I figured it out, I still was annoyed by it. I forget the enemies I was talking about. Do you remember their name?
It's the keep talking. I'll get it.
Yeah, they were like an enemy that was like really only weak to fire, and I had Cloud set as a mage. And so I did say there was two things wrong with my build, sort of. One thing really with my build, I didn't have Magnify on. The other thing was
it was the Sahagins.
Yes. The other thing was that I didn't know how to use the higher level magic spells. I didn't see the little arrow next to that. So that part's on me, right? And I was having trouble with them because they would do this like jump attack and like when you're fighting 3 at a time or more, they would all jump up in the air and they track whoever the player is currently using. So I'm trying to hit them with fire, but I'm just getting stun locked. The way around that is to kill them quick enough so that they don't do that. Really is the way to do it. So you use a higher level fire spell and you use Magnify so it hits multiple of them and you just end the fight really quickly. The problem with that for me was that it was a one solution kind of thing, and it wasn't really that like I could change anything in that.
So one of the things I just want to jump into really quick, because I understand, but I do think that there's enough things that you can change. You know, like if they're jumping at you, I think an easy solution is to switch to Cloud, go into Punisher mode, and block, because that'll counter. You won't take much damage. Like there's other things you can do. You can switch to Tifa, who's a much quicker character, so she'll be dashing around the fucking, dashing around everywhere that you won't get hit by the jump. Of course, these enemies are, if you're unfamiliar, they also have the thing that turns you into a toad that could be being cast, but that'll still be dodged by Tifa. Like there are like Final Fantasy.
The blocking thing was one of the ways that was about it, but a lot of times they wouldn't be like grouped up. So I would like block, do a counter, or try to do something else. I'm getting hit by another one. Mm-hmm. So it was still felt bad to fight them, even if I was still succeeding in doing it. The thing where I liked Rebirth a lot more with that was the inclusion of the elemental abilities. That meant that right off the bat, even if I don't have a character spec as fire, I can still do something. Because with Cloud, if I want to use my ATB and I get hit, and it's like, well, wait, now I need to heal. Now I need to build that ATB back up. Now I can kill them. If it's like, oh, hey, I'm Cloud. Hey, maybe he has something fire, but Yuffie's in a better position right now. I could use the fire ninjutsu and like still hurt them. I had other options to work around things based on the scenario that I was in, where it felt like there was one solution. How do I get it to work?
So
in Remake.
Here's the thing that I think, and I'll let you decide how you feel about it. With how you played Remake versus how you played Rebirth, because I imagine Rebirth, you didn't do the majority of the side stuff, meaning like you probably did some side missions here and there.
Yeah.
You probably didn't do most of the open world stuff. Like when you got to like the Gongaga region, were you doing the combat encounters that you? And what I mean by combat encounters, I mean like the specific
like the ones on the map that you would.
Yeah. Were you doing all of them?
Like it was, if not all of them, no.
So what I would say about this is you probably experience what Final Fantasy does a lot. They have a lot of gimmicky fights where you get into a fight and you're like, all right, this is clearly how you're supposed to do it. It sucks because if I'm not ready for it, it's there. It's in every Final Fantasy game.
Yeah. But a lot of times it's a boss fight, and I feel differently about that.
No, I don't think that's really true. Because I think there were a lot in Final Fantasy X that were like that. I playing Final Fantasies 1 through 4, I think there were a lot of encounters that were like that. Mm-hmm. And I think what the difference is between Remake and Rebirth is you probably didn't experience most of them in Rebirth, because most of them were like the enemy intel fights that you would get after clearing the ones that are here. Because like I'm thinking of things like I can't remember the name of it in Rebirth, but there's an enemy that you need to, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to find. Give me 2 seconds because I'm going to try and Google the name because I have one in mind.
I guess because I could just talk that it, like in that it feels like it's a challenge thing. Then there is supposed to be like more of a challenge to it, or like a way around that. Whereas Remake, that was every enemy, not every, but like a lot of enemies, a lot of just random enemies had like the scissor claws where they only really take damage from the back, and so but they're like tracking me because I'm the player character, so I have to then swap to get around them and do that. And it just made a fight drag,
I guess, because like the way like because when I'm playing again, like I never thought, like again, you bring up the scissor claws enemy, like I never found that to be a pain in the ass once because I'm switching characters constantly.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I didn't find it to be that might just be a playstyle thing because I'd like to stick with one character, but like I did swap a lot. But like
again, if Rebirth had it. Right, if Rebirth did it, if you felt like you needed to do it less in Rebirth, I totally see why you enjoyed it in Rebirth more. Yeah. But yeah, I guess like you said, it's playstyle, because like I never found that to be the case in Remake once. Like the only enemies that ever gave me any kind of trouble in Remake was during one of the side quests. They're the oh god, hold on, because this I can find. I couldn't find the rebirth enemy that I was trying to think of because I had the wrong name in mind. It was during one of the. Damn, I really thought that it was going to show up there. It was during one of the Chocobo side quests in Chapter 14 with Cloud, Tifa, and Barrett, and it was like you had to put the feed down, find the lost Chocobos, and it was one of the enemies that would only really take damage when they were staggered. The problem is that they only stayed staggered for like literally a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds, so you still got next to nothing done, and it was 3 of them. They divided, if they had Screech, like it was such a long and annoying fight, but there was nothing you could do about it. Those are the only enemies that I even remembered. Like I had to really think hard about which enemies you were fighting in Remake to make that conversation. But again, totally understandable. If you didn't find it in Rebirth as much as you did in Remake, that's fair.
Well, that was because they just had more options on every character, so it kind of felt like.
But again, I wasn't experiencing this problem in Remake ever, so I didn't.
Yeah.
So it's determined on playstyle, but totally understandable. Yeah. I mean, even by the end of it, I still say like there are so many better things in Rebirth in the combat than Remake. And
regardless of that, I think Rebirth's combat was better. That's just not. Yeah. That wasn't. I don't know if that was really a combat. It just felt like, and like I said, it wasn't really like except for with those one enemies, the Sahagin. It wasn't really a trouble with most of them. It was just like, oh god, now I have to. It just made the fight longer than I felt it needed to be for a random mob.
Totally fair. I guess and again, because based on what you probably did with Rebirth, how much of the virtual combat sim were you doing
in Rebirth?
Like talking
or Remake?
In Rebirth for Chadley.
Oh, like none.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
The annoying stuff came from that. So anything so the majority of what you were fighting in Rebirth were probably very entry level basic enemies.
Probably. But it was the same thing in Remake. That's the thing where it's like if you want to do challenge stuff with like annoying mechanics and stuff, and you do it as an optional side content.
The Sahagins that you were fighting, the fight specific that you were talking about was like down one of the most convoluted side missions, I thought. Unless I'm thinking of the wrong.
No, that was one of the main missions. That was the one you were following the Don's like lackey dude through the sewers.
How many Sahagins were you fighting at a time then? Because I don't remember ever fighting more than one.
There was 3 in one section and like more in another one. There was like maybe 4.
I'm gonna play Remake back, and I'm gonna call you out on that shit because I don't know. That's crazy. You just played it, and my memory's also shot, so I got to take it for it. But because I remember specifically the one where you lower the water level and you go down and fight the 3.
No, it was after that. It was well after that.
But that's a side mission that I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
but you said it was main mission that you were doing.
There's another side. Oh wait, no, I'm talking about the mission. I don't know if you lower the water. You do like once, but you're like in the sewers, and like there's like the different gates and stuff, and you have to like break it open so the water can flow through and stuff. That wasn't a side mission.
Fair. I must just be misremembering then. But either way, totally understandable. But yeah, the stuff that gets included aside from just the elemental stuff in Rebirth, I think the only thing that I didn't like was how floaty Cloud feels. Granted, it also helps because Cloud can actually fight aerial enemies where you couldn't in Remake, which was a real fucking pain in the ass, man.
He can. I still don't think it. I still wish he could just jump. I feel like that'd make it feel so much better. But like,
this is one of the things that I wanted to bring up because you were texting me about this, and I wanted to have this discussion a little bit because you were texting me when you were doing Remake, and you were like, "This is one of my biggest gripes about this game," and you were like, "Man, I just cannot jump down this ledge. I would like to explore. I would like to do this." And while I understand those complaints, this is when I was saying like, "Oh, you're gonna love Rebirth." I fucking hate Rebirth for the fact that I can go off and explore. Let me tell you something. One of the reasons why I loved Remake so much was its linear nature. I was like, this is fucking unbelievable. This is such a cool story, cool looking areas. I don't need to spend hours exploring this. If you want me to go here, you'll be like, yeah, this is the path. This is great. You'll have these encounters on this path, and I fucking love it for that reason. I don't know if I'm just burnt out of open world exploration titles.
It depends.
This felt like such a breath of fresh air to me to be like, all right, this is a linear, like tailored experience to that degree. And let me tell you, Rebirth opened it up, and they were just granted, I don't hear a lot of people praising Rebirth for the open world design, which I'm very glad about because
the open world design had a bunch of like Ubisoft level like objectives.
Brother, how many how many areas did you go to that you got the chocobo for?
I did it in every one that I think I could.
Why are we doing that?
I don't
Brother,
know.
it was 2024. That was the shittiest fucking experience of my life. Don't make me fucking do this shit. Don't make me
Yeah.
go and throw chocobo rocks or food and like or chocobo rocks to. It's not chocobo. It's just a rock. Don't make
Yeah.
me throw rocks to distract this chocobo so that I can hide behind this minecart to fucking and do this in every fucking region. Jesus Christ! By the time I got to, and I mean, I guess spoilers, but like again, if you're here, you're here. So, like in the Nibelheim region, fucking throwing the rock, trying to get that chocobo to run at the right time so that those fucking like plants that would grow
Yeah,
and
that was
knock you
dumb.
back. Why are we doing? That's not
Yeah.
fun. Did you find that fun? Fuck you. Why did you find that fun?
No, so here's
no one finds that fun.
Because I think more my thing with the linear versus open world is I'm totally cool either way. If you're doing linear and like you're doing it right, it's good. If you're doing open world and you're doing it right, it's good. My thing was because like I didn't like in Rebirth, I didn't like the open world. I didn't like exploring it. It didn't have worthwhile exploration. But in Remake, it was not only was it just like a hallway for that, which whatever, I don't care too much. It was all of the little things about it. The main path that I'm on could have a ladder that is smaller than Cloud's sword, and I can't hop off the ladder. I can't hop off the ledge. I have to walk down that ladder and keep going in the same direction. If there was like tons of those things where, you know, a lot of games use them to like, oh, you're crawling through a tight wall or something like that, and it's automating my character doing it. I don't feel like I'm playing your game at that point when I do that 5 times in just as many minutes. I feel like I'm being just forced through your game. I feel like my character is automated then.
The wording that you used in the text was, I feel like I'm constantly being reminded that I'm playing a video game.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something. I've never once minded that. I'm very much playing a video game, and I think that's where like what we said when we got into this conversation was we are on complete opposite sides of the spectrum. Because like I've never minded playing a video game. I've never minded being reminded that I'm playing a video game. But I will also say, knowing your background, you very much like immersive stuff. You like those immersive RPGs. It is the situation where like I almost want to make the argument that that's not the kind of game you're playing, but like also, you're not talking about it in a grand scheme. You're just like, if I can't make that argument, because then you're just like, brother, I just want to hop down this ledge. You can't be like,
that's
all I want to do.
Like,
I want to jump. I want to jump down 1.5 feet. It's like
a game can be gamey, like Xenoblade. I don't really think I'm in the world or whatever, but I don't feel like the game is forcing my character through things. I feel like what's happening is because I'm doing it. Like Rebirth, while I didn't like the exploration, if I wanted to go,
that was a crazy way to say that.
What?
Rebirth.
Rebirth, well, because it's Remake Rebirth.
No, I know.
Rebirth, while I didn't like the exploration, I didn't feel like I was forced down like a specific path. I can get to objectives the way that I'm just going to end up going.
And that's so funny because I felt the complete opposite. The amount of fucking times that I felt absolutely punished and like frustrated out of my fucking mind, being like, brother, the 9th encounter I'm trying to do in this area is just right up there. But I can't.
Gongaga region sucked.
But I'm like, God, I can't. Well, not even just the Gongaga region. I'm talking like the Corel region, the fucking desert that you had to backtrack through. Holy shit, I thought that was awful. Well, to be fair, the only 2 regions that I didn't think were god awful to explore were the Nibelheim region and the Grasslands region. I thought everything else got to be such a pain. Junon wasn't terrible, but like, God, Cosmo Canyon was disgusting. I hated going through that region. The Gongaga region being like, why is this one mushroom bringing me to this place? Or the Corel region being like, dude, it's right up on top of that fucking mountain. Can I just, no, I can't. I have to go around this very specific, I got to go 20 minutes around here. I got to drive this monster truck thing this much in this direction that feels awful.
You know what I think would have fixed a lot of that? If instead of having
not having it?
Well, but also just like, instead of having like a special like mechanic for each region, like traversal wise, just like once you unlock one, you unlock one. Like if I could like, if I'm bouncing off those mushrooms, if I could just fly and land where I want to instead of having to land in a specific spot like I can in Cosmo Canyon, that would have made that so much better.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, like and like Randy mentioned it first, I do believe that most of my gripes come from the fact that I did go for the platinum. This is not a platinum I should have gone for. This is so egregiously awful. But like, I'm gonna bring it back to the Co-op 64 guys. because like I love their content, but this is definitely the bit of content that I could not have disagreed with them more on, because they are the people that are like, they were the kind of people that were like, I felt like kind of stagnant with Remake, but Rebirth is perfection. They were like, there is nothing wrong with Rebirth. In fact, I'm gonna shout him out, Connor. You're insane, dude. I don't know if you'll ever see this, but he platinumed Rebirth, and he was like, I'll do it again. And I'm like, whoa. I almost was at the point where I platinumed Rebirth, and I said, I'll never touch a Final Fantasy again. We are not the same. You are a stronger man than I am. Jesus fucking Christ. This was egregiously awful.
Yeah.
But with that being said, from a surface level thing, these areas are in like well done in the sense that like they're beautiful, but like God, if I have to do anything more in them, I don't want to. It's rough. It's rough out here, man.
Yeah, they were good looking, but they were empty.
That was about it. I will say the one thing that did surprise me when I shouted when like by the end of it, because like I'm assuming you didn't even get to the I don't know, because you did you do the proto relic stuff in each region?
No.
So you didn't even get to the final area then. So there's a whole other area that gets unlocked if you complete all the proto relic stuff. Did you complete any of the proto relic stuff? Did you get anything? Oh God, what's his name?
That was that like mini board game thing, right?
Like, well, Fort Condor?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the proto relic mission for the Junon area. Did you finish that?
I did that one.
Did you get like the cutscene that kind of showed off the weird swordsman guy with the spears on his back and big guy?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so why can't I think of his fucking name? Hold on. Give me a second. What the hell? It's Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh. Mm-hmm. So Gilgamesh is a big Final Fantasy summon from some of the earlier games, as far as I understand. He is like one of the big super bosses. If you finish all of the proto relic stuff, you unlock his island, but then you go to his island and then you need to rebeat all of the summons, but they're paired up together. So you fight. It's just like you fought each super boss. Yeah. You fought each super boss. Would you like to fight them together, but 4 times, and then fight him? But then when you finish that, you unlock Chadley's fucking virtual fight that's like, all right, remember when you fought all of them? Would you like to fight all of them together, but as a boss rush, one after the other? Would you like to do it again, but as a different character? And it's like, I didn't want to do it the first time. Why are you making me do it 8?
I will say, the boss rush at the end of the game pissed me off so much.
Yeah? Did you have trouble with it, or was it like, what was your problem with it?
My problem with it was, first of all, it's just too long. It really was. Like, it took forever. I got to the end. I was on the final fight. I was like kind of drunk. It was like 2 a.m. And I was like, I died a couple of times, and I was like, I just have to do it tomorrow. When I die, it lets me restart on the phase I'm on. I should be good or whatever. I came back the next day. I had to redo the entire thing. It took me like 40 minutes to get back to that fight. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So the fact that I did that, I was kind of the reason that it pissed me off. It probably wouldn't have bothered me. It kind of annoyed me in the first one too, because that same thing happened where I died at the end and I had to redo. At least that because in Remake it didn't even let you restart the phase you were on. I had to redo the entire fucking thing. So at least Rebirth let me do that because it was longer. But yeah, Jesus Christ, that was.
So I have a question, just out of curiosity. What other JRPGs have you finished?
JRPGs,
just in general.
Xenoblades. I have to think now.
Did they not have stuff like that? Because I feel like 7-phase bosses are like just for context again. June 24th. I just finished Trails from Zero yesterday, and there were only 2 bosses, and I was like, "Whoa! This only took me like 30 minutes. That's it? That's insane."
Yeah,
I felt like I got off scot-free.
I'm trying to think now. I don't remember that many phases. They would have like 2, maybe 3 phases for like the final fights, but like it wasn't like 7 phases.
Interesting. Okay, because yeah, I feel like it's like such a standard. Like I'm playing Persona games. I feel like there's like so many phases. Like I feel like if I'm going to the final dungeon for a Persona game, I'm like I have to allocate 8 hours for this.
No, or at least so like funny. They have enough save points like right near it to where it's like, yeah, the dungeon might be long, but like the final fight isn't that.
Well, I guess there's no dungeon in Remake and Rebirth, so I guess it kind of makes up for it. But yeah, that's funny. But no, totally understandable. It's rough. It's rough out here, man. Let's see. Is there anything? So okay, let's get into Revelations a little bit then. The combat.
Mm-hmm.
It's already looking like it's very much like Rebirth, but with like a job class system. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward.
which I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because again, it kind of like fixes a lot of what you're saying, where you're like, oh well, it doesn't have like I need to have some elemental kind of stuff. You can kind of always have it set up to be that. It's looking like.
I
We'll
like
see
having I like having well-rounded options instead of just a dedicated thing. Especially when I have a limited party, that is. If I have like in Final Fantasy X, when I could swap out characters, that it's not a problem because I could just do that. Yeah,
always switch out. Especially in Remake, where like in Chapter 14 specifically, like it's very obvious that Aerith is supposed to be the mage.
Yeah.
Whereas like you don't have to build Cloud towards that. Tifa's definitely not meant to be built like that. And I would argue that Barret isn't usually supposed to be built out like that. So when you don't have Aerith in your party, you're like, well, what am I supposed to do for this chapter? And then they give you enemies that are supposed to be hit with magic. Like
that was kind of part of the problem as well. That chapter, I had, yeah.
So then it's the case of like, it's probably not as easy to build Cloud back out as your mage, but you have to do it because it's not Tifa and it's not Barret. So it's like that. But whereas in Rebirth, for the most part, isn't going to have that issue. And it looks like Revelations won't either. So that'll be nice.
Yep.
I think most of my problems with Rebirth have already been addressed in Revelations, because I'm not the only one who felt like this game was egregious with its absolute bullshit. So they've already kind of commented saying, "Hey, we're not removing the mini games in Revelations, but combat rewards will be removed from them. They'll only be cosmetic stuff, and there will be an easy difficulty added for the people that don't want to do it, and you can also outright skip every one of them." I think
they said you could skip every one of them.
I think so. I think.
I thought it was an either or kind of thing where it was like, yeah, easy mode's going to be added and a lot of them you'll be able to skip, but if you can't skip them, maybe.
Either way,
yeah,
it should remove most of my frustrations with them.
Yeah.
So here's hoping that's the case.
Especially because like even if there are like a couple that you can't skip, I feel like the fact that you could skip or like fly through the other ones will make it like less of a building thing. You'll just forget about it. Like that was a little annoying, whatever, and just going.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I'm trying to think of some of the mini games that you probably didn't even touch. Did you do the Fall Guys, like not fall off the ring kind of thing when you had to play as frogs?
Yep, I did do that.
You did do that? Okay.
Yep.
That one. How many times did you do it? Did you only do the one level?
I just did it for the quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one was a real pain in the ass. Don't let me do it again. It's just like, oh my god, like doing Fort Condor 4 times. I was like, yeah, okay, that was fun. It got annoying by the end of it. And they were like, would you like to do it again on hard mode? And I'm like, no, I wouldn't, but you're gonna make me, aren't you? They're like, yeah, do it 4 more times. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Why did everything have to have a hard mode? Did you do the Proto Relic in the Corel region? Where Yuffie and Aerith were fighting the Cactuar, but it was the dark and light versions of them?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Was horrible. That literally was, would you like to do it twice? Would you like to do it 2 more times on hard mode with each character? I'm like, no, I didn't want to do it the first fucking time.
You know what fight pissed me off to no end, actually?
What?
It was like I think you technically didn't have to do it. It was one of the things when you're getting the greens for the Chocobo. And one of the options for it, because there was, I think, more options than are required, so you could have skipped one.
I have a feeling I know which one you're...
It was the bartender that you have to follow the Cactuar around for a year.
Yep.
And then get to the end and fight like 6 of them as only Cloud, and they have the 1,000 Needles thing that just removes all your health.
Yep.
That's AIDS.
That was... That's a very gimmicky fight where it's like, yeah, we're going to throw you in and you have one way to do this. Do it or die. It's frustrating as shit. But it's okay because we had so much riveting plot right before that. Right, Randy? So much riveting plot.
No.
It was awful. Horrible. Disgusting.
No, that whole section was probably my least favorite section of the game.
It was my least favorite section of anything I've ever done. I'd probably rather be hospitalized again for diabetes, but because at least that has an end, you know. I'll get out eventually. Rebirth, I didn't know. By that point, I was in it for 9 hours doing bullshit. God, I am diabetic, by the way. I feel like that is very important information to have right now. But
yeah,
because that would be really crazy if I didn't have it. No, Randy's not. You lucky bastard. No, so like. Real talk though, were there any mini games that you did enjoy by the end of this that you might like to see come back? Because like if I'm being real, the Chocobo racing was it was just Mario Kart, but like I did.
Yeah, it was simple and fun. I didn't really have a problem with it. That could have overstayed its welcome. Honestly,
I did by the end of it.
Yeah. the Fort Condor thing I thought was kind of neat. I honestly liked Queen's Blood. I genuinely liked Queen's Blood. My only
Yeah.
issue with Queen's Blood that I had was the thing on the ship was too many people, too many rounds of it in a row. I
Well, it's
like it
great
as
because didn't you just have some very riveting plot? Aren't you looking forward to the great plot that you had right after it? Sorry, continue.
no, it was really just like because you do like 3 or 4 of them, and it's like, all right, this is the final person. Oh no, this is the final person, and then you're like, all right, cool, I won. And then Red's like, actually, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna verse you now. And it was
Did you
like, wait,
not?
why are we even letting him? He didn't even take part in the tournament. Like,
Did you not enjoy the moonwalking scene that you had from before that?
I kind of did, but like,
It's kind of fun. It was kind of fun.
not as good as Dante's moonwalking in Devil May Cry 5, but
I'm unfamiliar. See, I gotta get to it.
you got to get to it. It's so good. It just came out on Switch too, so.
That's true. I do want to share one quick thing about the Red 13 thing. So this is a little bit spoilery, but we're gonna keep it again pretty spoiler free as much as we can. What do you think of the voice change?
Kind of dumb.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I played it with Brian, our friend Brian. He's gonna know Brian. You guys won't know Brian, unless you're Brian.
Or Brian.
You probably statistically
Probably not them.
No. So I was playing it with him, and we were both shocked at the voice change. And we're just like, I wonder who's doing the voice, and it's still Max Middleman. There was only one voice tied to Red 13. So I met him at Comic-Con last year, and I told him that story now, and he just had the funniest reaction because this man must have just been so tired of this shit. Because I was like, yeah, like we were shocked, well, like obviously shocked at the voice change and everything, but like when we saw that it was still just you, that's really cool. And he was like, we were talking about it, and I was like, yeah, my friend almost didn't believe it was the same person. And he just looked at me, he's like, tell your friend, it's called voice acting. And I was like, yeah, you seem a little too serious for this comment, but thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I didn't love it. I wish we could have changed. But fun fact, guys, if you don't do the Red 13 side quests in like the earlier regions that he would have the deeper voice for, and then you go get that plot piece and you go back and do them, he will have like the playful voice for some of them.
That's cool.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like not every one of them, but I feel like there were parts that he did, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting like attention to detail. That's like, oh, I got to this point. Why was he using the older voice for that? But I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
God, I hated Cosmic. Fuck Bugenhagen, the old guy on the orb. I hope he's dead in Revelations. I hope we get to kill him. I hate him. He was such a smartass.
Yeah, I didn't really have strong feelings against him.
I think I was just pissed off by the point I got here.
I thought Dio was great. I hated playing as Kate Sith. Yeah. I didn't love playing as Aerith, but she did grow on me towards in the final fight. I thought it was okay. But when there's like a bunch of enemies fighting as her and she's just like slow and yeah, it's annoying. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, there was they definitely did a lot more in Rebirth to let her play better, like being able to do the arcade ward and the ward shift kind of ability, so you can get out of places really quick.
Yeah,
really big. One of the things that I didn't like, but like obviously for scaling purposes had to, the fact that Aga spells cost 2 ATB in Rebirth versus what you could do with Remake, but like Remake was unbelievably broken at that point, like unbelievably broken if you were able to get it out the right way. Insane.
Yeah.
I mean, you could still do it in Rebirth. Like again, like
I want to say I'm very excited to play as Sid.
Yeah, Sid looks fucking sick. I'm very excited for Vincent Valentine.
I am. I don't normally like playing shapeshifters in like games. Like I'll never play a druid in a game where I can like do that. I don't like it. I'll try it obviously. But yeah, Sid looks like so fun. I like dragoons and like Final Fantasy 14 dragoons, like one of my favorite classes. So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Now I feel like I will put spoilers up here because I feel like we have to talk a little bit about what we hope to see from story. We won't get too deep into it. So I'll start us off. Zach better be important, dude.
Yeah.
You're going through all this fucking trouble. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like I felt like the amount of times that we saw Zach and did the stuff with Zach was very lackluster in Rebirth. Like, I feel like they were starting to build it up, and they did it in a kind of an okay way. But you know, having played as him at the end of the game was kind of cool. But like, he better be way more important.
Yeah.
In this part.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, this is also coming from someone, again, we didn't play OG7. I've played Crisis Core Reunion, but you don't know anything about Crisis Core, right? Okay. So you've had your own theories that we would like. We don't.
I didn't. I feel like,
but
yeah, I do want to get into them with you a bit because I was just quickly texting you about it, and I feel like I didn't explain what I was thinking well enough.
I'm on my phone. I'm just gonna mark where I got to put spoilers down. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I have my own theories about that. I do. A lot of people I know don't like the whole whisper thing, and so I don't mind it as much. Mainly because I like how it keeps the plot of the original intact. They didn't change the plot of the original and then just be like, this is the plot now. Like, they didn't ruin anything from the past by doing that, which is what I like. I do think it feels a little like shoehorned in places. But yeah.
And like, I didn't know this. Like, do you remember Roche as a character? Yeah. He wasn't in OG. He's like
really
remaking.
I liked him as a character. Yeah. The whole thing with him, sad.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. That was well done then.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. I wonder what they're going to change with their like stuff like this. Like, this is one of those situations where I feel like they kind of shot themselves in the foot by calling it Final Fantasy VII Remake at first, because I was
going to say that earlier. Yeah.
I think like this wouldn't have been as much of an issue if you marketed it differently.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I think it set a tone that people like, and I think there were people that were very excited for it, being like, oh shit, I thought this was going to be this. This is really cool that they're going this way. But I think there were just as many people, probably more, because when you're touching this game that's like one of the biggest in video game history, really, like this is one of the most talked about video games for what it did and what it became and what it did for pop culture and stuff like that. That you're going in calling it a remake and then you're starting to change things. People are like, whoa, this is not what we signed up for. I don't like this and stuff like that. I think it caused a big split.
Yeah, and I think like without trying to get too much into it, I remember seeing one YouTuber talk about the big scene that everybody knows about at the end of Rebirth and how much it was ruined in Rebirth, whereas it was so emotional and everything in the original. And I don't know if you really ruined it because it's supposed to be different. It might not have had the same emotional impact, but it was never really going to, because what you had in your head for the past 20 years about this scene, I don't know if you're never going to please anybody with it. So if you just change it and set the expectation that you're changing the plot and the scene is going to be different, you still have that emotional scene and it's still lore accurate in the original. So you're not ruining it here. You're just being like, this is an alternate thing, and I don't think it really ruins it. It might not have the same impact, but I don't think that takes away from the original at all.
I do appreciate the fact that they didn't make me play 8 hours of Gears and Gambits directly leading up to it. So at the very least, it didn't feel like I said this to Randy, and I'm going to put it out there again. If Marlene herself was gunned down instead of dying in that scene, I still don't think I would have cared because of the amount of bullshit that they had me do before it. That is
I still care during that scene. I don't know.
I didn't give a shit. I don't care I don't care.
Yeah.
It was just oh my god, dude. If you enjoyed the Gold Saucer, I give you credit. It looked beautiful. But my god, I just couldn't care. Don't make me play them.
Kind of fun, but like
again, like
yeah, it was.
My whole thing with it was like, I have the solution here. Don't make me play 8 minigames. You could have just as easily given Cloud the option to lay down in bed and skip all of that and just give me the cutscenes of Dyne walking through and Tifa coming to the room and being like, hey, Cloud, shit happened. We gotta go. We gotta go find Barret. You could have done that.
You know what the bigger thing to me was in the Gold Saucer, instead of the minigames, running between the minigames with the minimap having all like the different paths overlapping and then running around and going to the wrong one and being like, how the fuck do I get over to the other one? And yeah, it was, that was annoying.
That's fair. And same thing with like the beach scene. Like, don't make me like Cloud and Barret being like, "Hey man, we got to go to the beach." So you try and step on. They're just like, "Hey, you can't step on the beach without a bathing suit." You're like, "All right, cool." You know this 50,000. Did you buy anything in this game, Randy? Did you use Gil once?
I feel like I must have. Oh, I definitely bought like a weapon or two. And I always bought every time I went up to a vending machine and something was on sale. I was like, maybe I'll need it.
So, fun fact. I'm pretty sure, and let me know if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure I'm right here. Any weapon that you bought was because you missed it. I don't think you buy any weapons.
No, I know. Yeah.
So the only gil that you spent for the most part was weapons that you missed that you didn't have to. And you're telling me that I can't use the gil to skip your shitty fucking minigames?
Yep.
Dude, just let me buy it. Let me buy it if I don't want to play the minigames. And leave the minigames there as the option to be like, oh, you don't want to spend the gil? You want to save it for something else? Go ahead. You can do that and you can just play the minigames. No, I have the solution to my problem in 3 seconds. Don't make me waste my time. God damn it, dude. It's awful. It's egregious. It's terrible. It pisses me. Like, I'm only so mad because there are so many people that and you're one of them, so fuck you, that praise Rebirth for certain things and be like, oh yeah, it's so much better than Remake. It does things so much better than Remake. It's like, oh my god, its pacing is abysmal. It's terrible. If you just cut the story down in Rebirth to none of the mini games, do you know how long you spent in Rebirth? Do you know how long it took you? Like, do you know what your file count was?
I could look really quick because I have Steam open, so I could just see what my playtime is on it.
Yeah, I'm curious.
54 hours.
54. If you cut out the if you cut out the mini games, and oh god, I do wonder what that does if it cuts out the mini games. Do you think you get down to 35?
I don't know if I'd say 20 hours. I could see 10.
No way. No way.
With only doing them once?
Between all of the Queen's Blood that you played.
Yep.
So, I mean, how you said it was like about 2 hours of Queen's Blood just on the boat itself?
Yeah. But that's the only time they really make you, other than like one other time, right? During the
I guess
Barrett thing?
No, because you need to do Queen's Blood in both the Gold Saucer and do you need to do Queen's Blood? You might not need to do Queen's Blood on the beach. But it is there.
No, you do actually have to do 1 or like 3 games of it, but it's like a mini challenge mode.
Okay, so you have to do it on. So you have to do the 2 hours that you spent on the boat.
So that was probably
you got to do the mini challenge of it on the beach. You have to do it in the Gold Saucer.
So that's probably like 2.5 hours then.
Altogether, no way, no.
For just Queen's Blood, because it took me I know it took me 2 hours on.
You're saying between just
the ship.
So you're saying you only did 30 minutes of it between the Gold Saucer and the beach then?
I don't remember the Gold Saucer one, but there was the beach one and there was the one right after the Gold Saucer where you have to do it with in that town.
Damn, so we're just racking up how much Queen's Blood you actually have to play. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much more, but fair enough. So even if it was just 10 hours, that's 20% of minigames basically.
Yeah.
That's too much, man. Forced minigames. That's it. That's what it, like, because what we keep coming back to is like, I don't want to take away from the side content because the side content can be very fun. If you play this game and you love the mini games, all the power to you. That's totally fine. I just think it got in the way of so much and it didn't need to. Just leave side content to be side content.
Were you counting like the like parade thing and the other scene where it's basically a mini game, but like it's
I wasn't. I wasn't even counting that. So yeah,
it's kind of a mini game, but it is a plot. It is part of a plot point then.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's as bad, but it's still a mini game.
Still rough.
Yeah.
Still be rough. But either way, I'm excited for Revelations. I'm excited to see what it does and how it implements everything. Excited to see where it goes. Any last things that you can think of that you want to bring in here? Like any hopes that you have for Revelations? Any grievances that you wanted to get out for Remake and Rebirth? Anything that you
just hope that they make. The only thing that's worrying, I have a lot of hopes now, but the only thing that's really worrying me is with how barren like the world was of anything like that made me want to explore it in Rebirth. In Revelation, the fact that you can take the airship around and just drop wherever. How much of that am I just going to drop into nothing?
That's fair. Oh, and you know what? Here's a problem that I'm going to have with it. So you can go wherever you want from the beginning. They did say that, right?
Yeah, that's worrying.
Is it going to scale wherever you drop, or are you going to drop into things and be like,
so.
You can go here, but you shouldn't until you're 60 hours in? Like, I wonder how they're going to handle that kind of situation.
Yeah, I hope I hope it scales, and like, because the thing is, I'm very worried it's going to turn to a Scarlet and Violet situation where it's like you can technically go anywhere, but like you really can't.
Yeah.
You're either going to have a lot of struggles or be way too overleveled for a lot of stuff then. And how's that going to affect the story? It feels like the story might end up being disjointed then if you go to different areas and when you shouldn't be there. And It feels like you have to make the story of every area disconnected then,
Yeah, which is what I'm worried about.
because that might ruin the pacing for you even more.
So we'll see. I'm not going to be hopeful
Yeah.
that I'm going to enjoy it. But again, with all of that being said, I feel like I have been. I told you before going in that I'm not going to be overwhelmingly negative, and I feel like I have been. So let me just pull it back and say that my biggest problems with Rebirth were its pacing and the overabundance of mini games that were forced into me playing, even outside of the fact that I platinumed this. I feel like you could have easily made most of this that I was forced to do side content, and I would have been way happier with it. With that being said, it's my favorite combat system. I love the combat. I loved doing the super boss stuff. It made you feel so cool. Everything that you could do with the materia builds and stuff were really cool. And if they have even a fraction of that in Revelations, I think it's still going to be very fun. So I'm hopeful, but I'm reserved with the problems that I had. Hopefully it doesn't get worse in Revelations, and we'll see how it comes to full fruition at that point.
Yeah.
I think that's how I'll leave it. Any other things you wanted to say about it and your experience with Remake and Rebirth?
Everything.
Cool. Yeah. So we'll see about Revelations in the spring. We, like I said at the beginning of this, we were talking about some short form content. As soon as everything gets more solidified, we'll let everyone know, and we'll start promoting some of that stuff.
We also kind of want to start streaming a little bit, so
yes.
not like an everyday thing or anything like that. But
nope. But we'll figure out what we can do. Get any kind of schedule going. We will keep everyone up.
I think we should do some sort of like co-op thing. I don't know. I think we can do something with that. Maybe one of the Final Fantasy like MMO ones.
Yeah.
14 would be cool. 11, I don't know if we'll be able to do that.
Yeah, very interesting in the state that it is, but
yeah, it's. Have you ever tried to play 11 before? I have. Took me about 2.5 hours to get in the game, and the controls are not like a modern game. So, because you know how bad the Square Enix launcher and like stuff is.
No, I don't.
Well, like just from trying to set up Final Fantasy 14 online, like
yeah.
So they have that, and then they have Play Online, which is a launcher from 2002 from them. So yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
That's fair. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, yeah. As soon as we get a lot of that stuff more solidified, which again, you guys will be hearing this episode when it comes out. I think it'll be the 28th or 29th of June. I don't know what day the Monday is. But either way, you guys will be hearing this towards July. Hopefully, middle of July, we'll have some more stuff figured out and solidified. We can let you guys know what we're going to be doing in terms of other content aside from just the podcast. But until then, Randy, as usual, never have an ending.
No, we won't.